In this video, we will learn how to use data services and dashboard designer. So in order to start off, first we need to create a data connector which establishes a connection with the required data source. And it can be of different types such as MySQL, SQL Server, Oracle, Hive, Flipkart, Google AdWords, etc. Next step is to create data sets which are used to fetch required data from the servers after the connection has been established. For example, if we are using a MySQL connector, then we write services using MySQL queries whose results act as inputs in dashboards. So to start off, let's go to the data center option inside the apps menu. And here on the top left corner, we can see the data connector option, or on the top right corner, I can go to click new. And here I can see a list of all the data connectors with which we can connect. So here for an example, we are using a MySQL data connector and giving it some name specifying details such as username, password, IP, port. And we are not giving a database name here, but you can specify the name of the database here itself while making the connector so that you can connect it. And once it is saved, I can see my newly created hiring data connector in the list of all the connectors which have there previously. Now I can click on the new data set icon to create a new data set, or I can also go on the new pop-up and select the data set from that menu and choose the connector whose data set I wish to create. Now, similar to the data connector, I am giving it a name, specifying the database name over here. And now I am going to use an SQL query here. So this is a simple select query in the SQL server, and I'm going to validate this query, but it shows an error. This is because the convention of the data set is to enclose table names inside square brackets. So now when I click on validate, I can see a snapshot of the result. And now let's move on to putting in some variables over here. So to specify variables, I'm just going to enclose the variable name inside @ and this is going to act as a variable. This means these values can be fetched dynamically. So when I validate, I need to enter these variable values. These are used when we have to apply filters inside the dashboards. So now after I've put in some relevant values, the result snapshot came on. So now I'm going to save it, and in order to use it in the dashboard, I need to publish this dataset. Once it is published, I get this alert message saying that it has been published. So similar manner, we are creating another data set. This time let's create a procedure. So I am naming it and specifying the database name, and this time I'm going to use a call sentence for a procedure. So here again I'm going to specify the DB name. Over here I'm again going to create two variables. One is for designation, which can be dynamically passed using a filter in a dashboard or any other component of your choice. Again, the next variable which I'm using is joining status. So once this is done, I'm going to validate it. So again, it is prompting me to put in some values for the filters which I specified, and I click on continue and get a snapshot of the result. And I'm going to save and publish it. Again, I'm getting a success alert. Now going to the designer, I'm going to launch the designer in a separate window, and let's see how to integrate these data sets inside a dashboard. So I'm going to just start off with a brand new dashboard, and I'm going to go to the data connections menu. From here I can see the data service option. I click on the plus button to create a new connection and give it some name. And here I will choose my newly created connector and data set from the list of connectors and services. And here in the conditions tab, I can see the variables which I had specified for filtering the data values are over here, and here I can either hard code the values if I wish to, otherwise I can specify the filter and its the component name whose value we need to select. So here I am hard coding it and checking the actions option to make sure that these variables are used inside the end result of a data set. So now in order to verify this, let's just place a data grid over here, and I'm going to use the newly created connection as the data set for this grid. And here is the list of all the output fields, and I'm just going to drag them and then preview it to see how it will look for the end user.